you're not done with coaching. That's obviously the next natural follow-up question. It's not like you're out of coaching. You're just looking for the next thing, right? That's safe to say.
That's safe to say. I'm in no hurry right now. And if I have to, and that would be, but maybe a division more. I think it'd be cool to play, the Everett's and the players
who still don't believe
people. No one believes it. People in the school, just a lot of nice things to say, and a sad time on both sides. I think, and I hope, but also a real amicable breakup, and that's just what it is.
Yeah. Do you? I can imagine never coaching myself, but I can imagine a big decision like this when you've been in the place for 8 years. This obviously isn't something that you think about overnight, and it's probably not something that really is just you either, right? This is like a family thing. This is kitchen table. This is I'm sure you talked with your brother about it, who's the head hockey coach over at Triton now, and a lot goes into these sort of things, doesn't it? I don't think people realize how stressful they can be.
Well, one thing I heard from a coach that I really respect, Neil Weidman is the head football coach of Linfield a long time ago, is within the season. Yep. Jot down thoughts and feelings, and keep a kind of a journal of how the season's going, and some roadblocks that you may hit, some good things that have happened, and I've kind of done that every single year, and I have a list of just things that happen over the course of the years. And
how long is this journal?
It's so I couldn't find my first season, but I can find my last season, and then because I didn't want to be a coach that just comes back because that's what you do. I want to come back because I'm still 100% committed, and still want to bring the Triton football program to as high as we can possibly bring in the program. And I just couldn't say that this off season, and didn't think it was fair to the kids to just hang on because that's what you do.
Yep. What did your brother say? I'm sure you bounced some advice off of that.
He said to do, as most people, if you don't think you want to go back, then don't go back. It's too much time, too much effort, too much commitment, too much time away from my family to be 1 foot in.
Yeah, is it too many Sheehans at the one school? Is that what it is?
That could be, absolutely. Absolutely. He's got a big head, and I don't mean an ego.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And it was certainly a big decision. I know, and you did talk about the timing. You think about, you hear about the pro coaches all the time. These guys are staying, really almost have no lives. They're staying late night watching film. It's really not all that different as a high school coach, is it? You guys are putting in so much time. I know you're very dedicated, especially when you're making runs to Gillette Stadium. It's a full-time job that feels like a full-time job sometimes, doesn't it?
Oh, it absolutely is. But obviously in season, it's 7 days a week, and it's 5 hours a day. It's with practice, with planning, with film breakdowns, with organization of the program, emails going out, all sorts of things, and then the off season is
crazy parents. You didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
I said
Triton's been great with the pivot. I'll tell you what, it has. It's actually my athletic director and I always joke it's like Mayberry. It's a really great place to work. So if anyone's out there listening that is interested in applying for that job, I wholeheartedly support that decision because it is a great place. It's a great place to work. But the off season really gets to you too. 7-on-7s and workouts in the morning before school or after school, coaching, development at clinics and things like that. There's a lot of commitment if you want to do it the right way.
I bet there is. What's going to be the toughest part? Is it that first practice come next year when you know that I bet. The thing that always strikes me, and this is just bound to happen, every kid that plays, usually these days, you play 4 years in a sport, say you start as a freshman, the turnover is a lot more than it used to be with coaches. A lot of these kids do have at least one different coach switch over, so it must be tough for you to kind of look at the seniors maybe and say, guys, this is it for me. Is that the toughest part, kind of the upperclassmen, is maybe telling those guys?
Tuesday when I met with those kids, that was one of the hardest.
Is that when it was, Tuesday?
It was Tuesday after school. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. And I'm looking at those seniors who, have expected me to be their coach through their senior year and be on their sideline, and that was a really emotional time. And you're not even just thinking about them; you're thinking about all the seniors that you always had that kind of put their butt on the line for you and under your leadership, and it was a really emotional time. That was the hardest part. I mean, I expect to be coaching somewhere next year on the sidelines, and that will kind of fill a big void. But leaving Triton and the work, effort, commitment, and relationships that have built over the past 8 years is something that I'm going to really cherish, but miss at the same time.
Well said. All right, we'll take one quick break here. Again, we're joined by Coach Pat Sheehan. He has stepped down as the Triton Vikings football coach, and this is very new news. You heard him just say he just told his players not 48 hours ago, so it is very good on him to come in here and make some time for us in what, as you can tell by, I notice you keep checking the phone. I think you're still getting messages here about as this news kind of trickles out. So it's very good of you to make some time for us here. Let's do this. We'll take one quick break. We'll come back with more with Coach Sheehan here and cover some other ground in just a moment. Again, it's Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. We're on the TV as well. Hello to everybody at home. Thank you for watching, and we'll be right back. Afternoon Drive, Joppa Radio. Cool.
Should I end this Facebook Live for the time being?
You can. What did you?
There's no one actually here right now, so.
So it's on you. So it's YouTube Live.
Facebook? Oh, it's YouTube Live.
Yeah, and so.
Oh, well, we had some viewers.
Oh, this is it right here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I
So
didn't
it's
even
on.
see it.
It's still. It's now. It's on right.
Right. Yeah. There's just no one watching right now.
Hello, Facebook Live.
YouTube.
YouTube Live.
Oh boy, bad boy.
So yeah. If you. So it's Port Media, one word, YouTube right now, because there's actually Port and Media. What the heck?
Wait, why are you saying that?
So if you want to tweet it, you can hashtag.
Where am I
Coach
tweeting?
Sheehan.
Through this?
Oh, that's what you're. There you go.
Okay.
So
What am I tweeting?
Port Media.
Port Media YouTube. Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's insanity.
It's a lot.
It's great when it's working. We have the Comcast. That's why it's not going on our stream, because then people just watch it on our stream.
Right.
God, it's so frustrating.
Just that. Or watch. Should I say watch?
Yeah. You can say Coach Sheehan Live on YouTube. I think you can do it
I
again.
already tweeted it.
And-
Well, I mean, I quoted it.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
Yep.
Well done. Oh, look at that.
I could scream about the radio. Haven't even heard from anybody.
No screaming, Sarah. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
good
we have
playlist.
some
We're gonna clean that up some more. All right, Coach. Where should we go next? What do you want to talk about?
X's and O's, want to talk skiing?
Should we take questions from YouTube?
I'll let you know when we have viewers.
Come back in 30 seconds. Someone's in London right now. I forgot about that.
Are they?
Yeah.
Just for one game?
One game, yeah.
Against who?
76ers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Down 9-2. Early moments.
Well, playing right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it 8 over there? 7?
Hmm?
7 or 8 over there?
6, 7, I think it's 9.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it's 9 o'clock. Prime time. All right, welcome on back to Afternoon Drive here on Joppa Radio. My name is Drew Moholland. It is Afternoon Drive, and you've probably noticed, as far as I'll talk to the people mostly on the television here, having a little bit of trouble with the Joppa actual radio. We got some technical difficulties here over the last week. Issues very much beyond my pay grade. I won't try to tell you what they are. But so we're going to just be on the TV, and right now we've actually included this little mechanism here, the YouTube stream. If you're looking to get us and you're not in the area, if you're out at work or something, and you want to pull us up on the YouTube Port Media stream, do that. This is kind of a new thing, and it's right here. Very cool. Anyways, we'll move on. Our guest here today is Pat Sheehan, the former Triton Vikings football coach, stepping down the other day and moving on to a different thing. Of course, he's not going to tell us what. I don't even know if he knows what. I won't ask him any of this stuff, but he will be leaving Triton, and I do wonder, Coach, as far as this big change in your life, what does what all goes into it? You mentioned your brother. A lot of conversations. Is this like a month in the works? You've been thinking about this for months, or is this end of the season? How does that work out?
That's a good question. I think.
Thank you.
Really sitting down and ironing out, my goals and personal and professional moving forward. Probably the last 2-3 weeks. It's really been on the brain, but you're constantly thinking about your future and what it takes. I have a baby due. I have a 2-year-old at home and a baby due any minute.
How about this?
Yes,
Congratulations.
Yes, I have a girl at home.
I was unaware.
And a young boy that's going to be born truly February 4th, but he'll be early, so I got January 18th. That's what I got.
You can predict these things?
That's my guess. So there's another life-changing event right there. But no, it's just. I think it would be wrong to not reevaluate and constantly align your goals if when you're going to be in charge of so many people.
We've kind of covered all this now, so I just want to let me move on to what has actually happened with this Triton football program. Came in kind of a rough spot. Those first 2 seasons, not exactly pretty, as you mentioned at the beginning, record-wise anyway. When you're winning 1 game over 2 seasons, which was your first 2 years, is there part of that when you can start to see things turning, even though 1 win? I know it doesn't look good on paper, but as a coach, can you start to see things progressing and things are going in the right direction? Is that like a really great feeling for a coach, and then you get the payoff down the line?
Yeah, well, it was actually 0-11, then 6-5, then 1-10. So we had we sandwiched a 6-5 in there, but 0-11.
How'd you do that?
We have really good players. But the 0-11 season.
Not fun.
Not fun, but really respect the heck out of that group. We lost 8 of our 11 games by less than 7 points. They came every week to practice and worked their tails off, and they competed. Our mantra for the last 7 years has been we compete at Triton High School, and they competed every single game. It's easy. I'm very proud of this past season, going 5-6, because it's easy when you're in a rut to stay in that rut. And it's easy when things are going well to get on board and be committed and keep things going well. But when you're in a rut and they're able to change it in the middle of a season, like we did this past season, we were 1-6 and finished the season. We were 2-6 and finished the season 5-6. Went 3-0 in November, and a great win on Thanksgiving. That was a real testament to these kids. So I could look at as many positives in that 0-11 season as I could in the 9-3 season when we won the Division III North title. It's just
it's the life of a coach, right?
It's the life of a coach. It's just really proud of that whole thing. But from the beginning to the end, it was probably the best thing for me to go 0-11 my first season, because I was the offensive coordinator at Linfield the year before, and we went 10-1 and lost in the state semifinals. And I thought I was pretty good.
Pretty humbling.
I thought Triton football was going to win 7 games just because I was standing there. And I realized fairly quickly that I need some good coaches around me. I went out and hired some of the best coaches. Ted Flaherty, I can't say enough about his defensive mind and just coaching acumen in general. Sean McGilligot, the former head coach at Triton, who I actually worked for as an assistant for a year at Triton. Yep. Phenomenal coach, phenomenal mentor to me. Ryan McCarthy, who was the offensive coordinator at Newburyport for a long time.
And the baseball coach.
And the baseball coach at Triton came on. I mean, there's 3 head coaches on your staff people don't have that around here, and I was really lucky to get those guys.
No, that is great. I talked to a coach before they played you this past year, which was the 5-6 year, and he had mentioned that it's a little bit of a different Triton team compared to the one that went to Gillette. Not quite the same team, but he said, let me tell you, those guys fight still. I mean, there's no easy out when you play those guys, and which I thought was a pretty good compliment for the head football coach.
Great to hear for the Triton program. A lot of pride in the program. I mean, we took We took Marblehead in our first game of the season, who went 10-1
Yep.
on the season, and perennially since I've been at Triton, phenomenal team coached by Jim Rudloff, who's done a phenomenal job. We lost to them 16-9 in the first game, and fought tooth and nail every step of the way,
Yep.
and they go on to go 10-1 and lose the game before Gillette Stadium. So.
Let's talk about that miracle ride a little bit, because I know, what coach wouldn't want to talk about a run that takes you to Gillette and makes a season like that with all the hardware that came along with it. That was the two seasons. That was the 2015 teams. Yeah, the 2015 team.
16.
2016, because now it's 2018.
Now it's
See,
18.
yeah, how about that?
2016.
The 2016 team. You guys were like, it was like the greatest show on turf, but on at Triton. You guys were throwing the ball all over the place.
Yeah, that's
and,
what we do.
all sorts of talented guys, and I think you had some guys that made some college teams. If you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No,
on that,
that's
but,
true.
But a really just fun ride for you. That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was. I mean, in terms of wins and losses, our best season, and you know, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmys and the Joes, as they always say, and we had a real good team. Our quarterback Louis LaRue is currently playing at Mass Maritime and started this past season on defense. Was as good a high school player as I've coached, and not to be outdone, Liam Spillane, the offensive player of the year in the Cape Ann League. I mean, we did throw the ball a lot, but that was the first year we actually ran the ball considerably more than we threw it, because Liam was so good. He's currently at Bates, playing football and lacrosse.
He was a solid running back.
He was a solid running back.
I would not want to get on his wrong side.
You know, he's about 2 1/4 and 6 feet tall, and
Yeah.
he could move, punishing running back. So, and then we have the alignment of the year. I mean, it's when you have good players, they make a coach look good. So.
Well, I know that's very modest of you, but what was it saying again? It's not the X's and the O's. It's
Jimmy's and Joe's.
There you go. Okay,
Yes.
I getcha. That's good stuff.
And girls.
This Cape Ann League I know holds a. I mean, you're a guy who knows this area very, very well. Never mentioned the fact that you just coached 8 years here. You're gonna miss a lot of the rivalries here, because no matter where you end up, there is something unique about just the. It seems like every night when you play somebody, there's some sort of embedded, call it hatred or whatever, but there's some sort of deep rivalry. Something has happened along the line. Just I don't know if it's the proximity of these schools or just the fact that the league hasn't changed too much over the years. You gonna miss the rivalries in this league?
Absolutely, it's such a great league in terms of the rivalries, and even more specifically the river rival region. The Pentucket, Newburyport, Amesbury, Triton, Ipswich crew right there.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys every week one of those two teams is playing each other. And that's great to go to those games, to be part of those games. I still don't think there's a better place to play than Amesbury on a Friday night.
Yeah.
That old World War Stadium, World War II built stadium, Landry Stadium, I should say. Natural turf. They got the neon lights flickering in the corner of the end zone, and it's a great place to play. Play in Masconomet, Linfield, North Reading, Hamilton Wenham. Probably missing some Cal teams, but it's just there are great coaches in this league, and there's no easy outs.
Yep.
There's never an easy out. And when I first got to Triton, I mean, there was Steve Hayden, who's still kicking around. He's been the head coach at Pentucket since the year I was born.
Sharp as can be. Eh?
Absolutely. He can outrun me and probably out-bench me too.
He is in good shape.
He's in great shape. He's in great shape. Ed Galliano, who retired a couple of years ago,
still very much involved. Though.
Yeah, he's a mentor to Coach Molsky, definitely. Coached with Coach Molsky.
Do you know Coach Molsky pretty well?
I do, just a little bit. I do. He's been in the scene. It's the River Rival region. We all know each other. And I do. I spoke to him on Monday night to inform him of my decision, and he was,
Isn't that funny? You almost feel that obligation to tell the other coaches,
Yeah.
listen, guys, I'm leaving the pack.
yeah, exactly. I mean, we've been here for 8 years, and those relationships and those 20 minutes before a game that you chat with these guys, and the league meetings and chat with these guys, we're lucky. These kids and the communities around here are very lucky to have these coaches, because they're in it for the right reasons. They're in it for the kids. They're in it. they're really good role models from what I can tell.
That's good stuff. I know you're gonna get out of here in a couple minutes. So just going to take one quick 1 minute break. We'll end with just a couple final thoughts with you, Coach Pat Sheehan. Might even get your thoughts on the Patriots game here this week. I want you to give me a prediction. I know you're gonna get out of here. But one real quick break, and we'll finish up with Coach Sheehan. Pat Sheehan, the former coach of the Triton Vikings, nice enough to make some time for us here, just hours removed from the big decision to leave Triton. So we'll be back and finish strong here with Coach Pat Sheehan in just a moment. My name's Drew Moholland. It's Afternoon Drive on Joppa Radio. We'll just come back in 30 seconds here, just to help these guys just to break it up a little bit.
Got it.
Shout out to our one YouTube viewer. You a true.
It was.
Oh, yeah? People are catching on to the YouTube.
We've had multiple. We're down to one.
But second, I don't like my hat.
What did I just say? Drop off car. Okay.
All right. Did you say drop off car?
Yeah, I gotta drop off my car. Pick up my daughter, drop on my car.
21-17 Sixers. You a basketball guy or not really?
I watch it.
You watch it? Sports guy.
I like watching pro hoop.
All right, back here. Final couple minutes with Coach Pat Sheehan, former Triton Vikings football coach, stepping down now after 8 seasons, and a couple of really, really good ones too. Coach Sheehan, I guess I know you're gonna get running, and again, thank you so much for making some time for us today. It was, I know it's, I can tell it's been hectic for you, as these decisions always are, but it was really nice of you to come in. We appreciate it. Final thoughts here. I guess. Well, why don't I give you the floor just to say, one last goodbye to the Triton and Cape Ann League community, because of course this gets heavily played in Newburyport as well. So I'll give you a chance to just say goodbye to everybody on the kind of the formal microphone stage here. Here we go. But final thoughts though, from as you head on out of the Cape Ann League.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it. Well, I don't know if I'm heading out of the Cape Ann League. Who knows what that
Oh, I'm
happens.
sorry. I did not mean to. I did not mean to jump to conclusions.
Heading out of Triton. I'm a North Shore guy, so it's North Shore, Cape Ann League or Northeast Conference, I guess.
What a mistake! I am so sorry.
No. Again, I can't stress enough how truthful I'm being with this decision. But I just want to thank all my players, everyone in the league. It's been a great ride. I'm not going too far. I'll definitely be on the scene somewhere, some capacity. Honestly, there's nothing in the works at the moment, but I'm still gonna coach. And I think I mentioned it earlier, but I do want to stress again, if anyone's listening that is interested in going for a job, do not look for reasons why this might not be a good job because I left. Because it is Mayberry. It's a great place to work. The new stadium is fantastic. The administration, Sean McGinnis, our athletic director, I've had a great relationship with for my 5 of the 8 years that he was the athletic director. The kids are second to none, hardworking, and there's great support. Friday nights at Triton High School are really special. The fans sections are great. It was great 8 years.
I can tell you're gonna miss it.
Yeah, I am.
That's gonna be every coach thanks the players first. Huh? You did it again. That's good stuff. I always like that.
Well, they're putting all the work in.
Yeah, not all the work. That would be a lie. I think we know that. Well, anyways, it's kind of a busy time for football, huh? We got a little Patriots game Saturday night.
Yeah.
I know you get your eye on these pro football games.
Absolutely.
They go all the way to the Super Bowl. How's this work out?
I don't see anyone in the AFC that can beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, they played like a dog against Pittsburgh and still won the game, and I imagine they'll bring their A game in the AFC Championship. And unfortunately, you never look past an opponent. But I luckily am not coaching in the game, so I can say that I don't think Tennessee is going to give them much of a game.
Well, there you go. There's your prediction. Also, winter watching. I know you're keeping a good eye on your brother over there at Triton.
Sure.
Big win last night.
Big win last night.
You're proud of that guy, I know.
Saturday at Linfield. That's a big one. The alma mater.
Coach Ryan Sheehan, for those of you who don't know, coaches Triton hockey, and I know you guys are very close. How much fun is it getting over to the rink and watching your brother coach?
It's good. It's good. It's actually usually have a lot of stress watching your brother compete, do whatever it is, and as a head coach, that's even more. My mother's an absolute lunatic when she goes to my football games or my brother's hockey games. I know that.
Tell me you told her about the decision.
I
before.
did. She was not too happy. I'll tell you. She doesn't know what she's gonna do on Friday nights in the fall.
She likes things planned out, does she?
She loves it. She loves it. But no, I'll tell you what. It's a little bit easier. He played goalie at Linfield High, and when I was in college or a year out of college, going back to watch his games, that was a lot of stress watching him when your brother or your son or whoever it is a goalie, because it seems to always fall on him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, you've given us your Patriots prediction. We've caught us all up to speed here on the past Triton and now the future, as much as you can tell us anyway. And thank you so much for making some time for us. I know you're going to run, and I know you're a busy man. Never mind the fact that we got a baby on the way.
Yeah,
Congratulations
thank
to
you
you and
very
your
much.
wife.
Appreciate it.
It's great news.
Thank
And
you.